Welcome to the Optimized E-commerce podcast. I'm Tanner Larson. This is Matthew Stafford, my business partner, and we are the owners of Build, Grow, Scale, as well as the host of this podcast. So what we're going to cover today with you is why you should never copy what Amazon's doing, thinking that it's going to work for you in your e-com business, which is something that a lot of people do. And then we're also going to give you some crazy results from one of our average order value split tests, where the store owner, this is one of our partner brands, was copying Amazon's frequently bought together cross-sell program, or cross-sell strategy, I should say, and what the results of that split test were. And it'll kind of drive home our point. So you can kind of guess where the test's going to go, but we'll dive into that in a second. So Matt, talk to us about Amazon.
Well, Amazon is its own animal. So we know that for every $1 that's spent on the internet, about 53 cents of that is with Amazon. So the amount of online shoppers that they consume, as far as like the whole market, is just, it's insane. It's crazy. And we also know that they've created, obviously, they've made it very easy for people to buy from them. I think they actually even were the very first ones with the one-click ordering and one-click buying. They literally, Amazon, people don't go to Amazon to shop around and look for products that they want to buy in the future. They literally go there when they're ready to buy, and they find their product and they buy right then. They've trained consumers to expect their product right away. So their shipping is, like, bar none, probably what's changed the face of physical product sales anywhere in the globe, is just the fact that they can get it shipped to you sometimes same day now. If not, within 24 to 48 hours is fairly standard. Totally.
And you know, everything Matt just said is all things that you, the regular store owner, even if you're a big store, you could be a Banana Republic or an REI or something like that, you still can't compete with that ecosystem. Amazon is, if you want to look at it in one way, Amazon is a cult of shoppers. They're trained to consume Amazon style. They have their credit card on file. Most people have 3 to 4 to 5 credit cards on file at Amazon. I know I do. Matt does.
Two or three addresses.
Yep. And because you ship to other people, you go there, you buy, you use one click. If you have a Kindle or you use their app, like I probably buy 2 to 3 books a week with one click on my Kindle. Why? Because I'm conditioned to do it. Amazon Prime, it's the biggest continuity program in the world. Huge. No one else has that.
55 million subscribers?
Something like that. Yeah, all paying 200 plus a year.
Yeah.
Then you get on Amazon Prime. What do? You watch a movie. Ooh, I just bought Star Wars, The Force Awakens, right? It's $10. It was on sale. Like, cool, gotta have it. Pushed a button and now I have it. Stores don't have that. Brands do not have that outside of Amazon. So what works in Amazon's ecosystem as on their store, people think, oh, look, they're doing it, I should do it too. Now, it doesn't work that way. Now, also, it's not just Amazon, but we work with thousands and thousands of different stores. We come in contact with thousands of different stores a year. Okay, and between our events and our workshops and everything else we do in our mentorship program and our partner program, just an ungodly amount of stores that we come into contact with on every platform conceivable. And one of the biggest things that we see as a problem is this copycat and Me Too stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that for a second. Like, what are you seeing when you see this?
Well, a lot of times people will get on a trend. They'll see, depending on what niche they're in. One thing that I see a lot is add to bag, like these clothing stores and different things like that. It sounds very simple, but we know from all the testing that we do that clarity always beats trying to be, I don't know, tricky or like, oh gosh, I can't even think of the right word, but just being really nice with your words or whatever. Clear, exactly what it is always works better. And if we talk about typical and prototypical, like, people are so used to add to cart, they know what your cart is, all of that stuff. So even just being tricky or trying to be new and innovative or whatever, that new word, a lot of people will not know what that means. Is that a wish list? Is that a whatever? It's not a cart, and everyone uses a cart. So now that one thing could create confusion. And we know that people don't buy from sites if they have unanswered questions or they're confused. They'll just leave. They'll go somewhere else.
Yep. And, you know, and what he's talking about is that little thing we have probably seen on 24 sites in the past few months, where before it was, you never saw it, but once in a while. And what is it? It's copycat Me Too marketing. Oh, this bit, Gymshark's doing it, so I should do it. Well, you know what? Gymshark's a big company. They're awesome, but they probably haven't tested it. They just had their designer who said, hey, this is cool. Let's throw it up there. And then because a big brand does it, and I'm not saying Gymshark did this, it's an example of the brands people try to copy, but that's what happens. And we see it all the time. Oh, why are you doing this? We need to test that. Well, I saw it on Banana Republic, so if they're doing it, you know, it must be good.
Yeah,
well,
and we even get that with our partner store, the owners. Totally. They'll see it on stuff, and we do run tests on it, and we've never ever beat add to cart. It's just people understand exactly what it means.
And that, you know, so there's one example, but like Matt said, with our partner stores, we're constantly, when they come to us, like everything that's on their site has obviously to some level been working for them before they became a partner of ours, but we challenge everything. Every single thing on their site, we're going to collect data on, and then we're going to start testing our way through it to figure out what's different. And this is where the copycat stuff comes in, guys. Because we hear it all the time. Why are you doing that? And it's always, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Oh, I saw it over here, or this person's doing it, or whatever. And it's usually someone that they hold as a higher level competitor, someone who is a guru, or someone who they think knows more than they do. So they're like, well, if they're doing it, it must be good. And then what happens there, we're like, if you think about it, just because someone is doing something doesn't mean it's working. And the reality is that they actually may be more clueless than you are.
Right.
And we see that a lot.
Yeah, it's, I mean, and understandably, like, if you're not in this world doing this over and over and over, if you see this big brand doing it, like, we get why you would think that initially. But we work for a lot of those big brands, and it's crazy the stuff that we see when we first start, and just the reconditioning and stuff that we teach them. So we're not saying this because we're better or anything like that. Like, we're literally saying this because we've seen it over and over.
And we've actually been guilty of it in our past too. Before we started testing, we had to change our thought process to challenge our own ideas. Matt and I have said the exact same words to each other, like, well, hey, they're doing it, maybe we should try that.
Yeah.
And then we have to be like, what?
Or we did it before we had all the data to test, and we didn't know if it was working or not. Now we know, so yeah.
So speaking of that, I'm going to share one of the test results that we did from a split test that'll actually kind of put this together for you. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, can you guys all see that?
Yep, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, if you're listening to this on iTunes, I'll explain it all, and you don't have to go to YouTube to see it. But if you want to see the visuals that I'm showing here, hop over to our YouTube channel and check that out. But you don't have to do that by any means. I'll still make it clear for everybody. So what the test was, we have an amplified partner store of ours that's in the craft niche, and they serve the older demographic that likes to knit and sew and do all kinds of crafts like that. And they're pretty much the market leader in that space. And so they have lots of products, and they're a good brand. They've been doing a lot of things. They actually had an app on their Shopify store called Frequently Bought Together. And that is an app that mimics Amazon's Frequently Bought Together upsell thing, which I'm showing you a screenshot of here, where in this case, the person is looking at a first aid kit, and Amazon says, hey, the first aid kit, the life straw, and the emergency Mylar blankets bought together for $54 is what people usually buy. And it's kind of like a cross-sell bundling option that Amazon's done. We've all seen it, right? Now, interesting to note, about March 20th, 25th-ish, in that range, Amazon took that off their store. They're no longer doing it on their product pages. So they're running the test as well. Or they've collected enough data to realize that they don't need it. So anyway, there's a big app out there, and we see tons of stores using this app and variations of this app, because there's lots of different types of it out there. But the concept is on the product page, you offer this to try to increase your average order value by getting people to buy more related products all at once. And this app was 100% built because it mimics what Amazon was doing. And therefore, a lot of other people want to do that same thing. So we ran this test on our store, on our partner store in the Crafts Niche, and there's plenty of awesome products that are nice, complementary upsells and cross sells to whatever the product was. So the product match and everything else was perfectly dialed in on this frequently bought together cross sell function. All right, so we ran the test of with the cross sell function and not the cross sell function. So we took it off and we ran it with it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the results. And what you can see here is I put the Google Analytics screenshot up here, but what we found was variation B, which was the variation without the cross-sell app on there, actually outperformed having the cross-sell on there. So yes, there was a lift in AOV, average order value, by having that app, but it was actually hurting other metrics that were more important. So when we took it off, here's what happened. We had a 5% increase in average order value over what it was before, a 17% increase in conversions, and a 23% increase in revenue per user. So revenue per user went from $1.96 to $2.41. Okay, so that's a big lift when you think about every person on there. How long was that app on there trying to increase their AOV, but it was actually hurting other metrics? And this is one of the things that, Matt, you can kind of talk to that, like we've gotten really good at not taking the face value of something, right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times people feel like they're only looking at one metric, thinking, oh, if we can raise conversion rate, that's a win, or oh, if we can raise average order value, that's a win. But they're not looking at the other areas because they're just not collecting enough data points to see if that's actually hurting them somewhere else. Clearly, you would make the assumption that, oh, those things frequently bought together is going to raise their average order value. Yeah, but it also confuses the user because now they have 2 or 3 more items that they have to go look at to see if they want. And we know from all of our testing, the more times that they're clicking around the site, that's a lot more exit points. And not even that they don't want to buy it, but like their kid comes to the door, or their dog start barking, or their boss walks up to their desk. Right now, that's probably not happening too much, but you know, those types of things, people just are busy and get interrupted and they leave.
So here's a perfect example of where something that was designed to mimic what Amazon was doing, because everybody believes it was working for Amazon, and it very well could have been working for Amazon within their ecosystem, but when translated to another store in a regular vertical with a great brand presence and all the good stuff going for it,
yeah,
it actually was hurting it. Okay, and they didn't know it. They thought, until we showed them the data, they thought, man, we have this, our AOV has gone up a little bit. And as soon as we took it off, we showed them the results. Now they make more money by actually trusting the data and not what, you know, the copycat Me Too marketing. And, you know, it happens a lot. So anyway, guys, the whole point of this is not to tell you that, you know, this app is bad or whatever. And the other thing is still test, because there is going to be a case where that app works on a store more than it hurts, right?
Yeah.
There's always outliers, and we do the same thing. Just because we say, hey, guys, it didn't work this time, doesn't mean we won't ever try it again. We're constantly running tests because every market, every target audience, every site, every store, we call them not contextual, excuse me. They're all slightly different.
Yeah, so we have, like, when something wins, we test it across all of our partner stores, or as many of them as we can make it apply to it. And it doesn't always win. So for us, we're using multiple tests all the time to see that out. And we know for a fact that one win here doesn't necessarily mean it's across the board.
But you can, and even our best practices always works. It always pops up at least one time that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of the beast. But the thing here is that you guys need to be working off of data, off of sound decision making, not based off of guesses, hunches, or, ooh, look what they're doing, I should copy that. All right.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
In future episodes, guys, we're going to get into a lot more specific optimization, some data hacks, and some ways you can dial in each page on your site, and then bringing on experts and stuff like that. So if you got something out of this episode, make sure you click the subscribe button below. If you're on iTunes, subscribe there. Also hop over to our YouTube channel, subscribe there, and you can see the video of it. And if you need the direct links to do that, go to buildgrowscale.com/podcast. You can see the show notes. You can subscribe on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, however you want to listen to the podcast. It's there for you at buildgrowscale.com/podcast.
Yep. And guys, if you like this, please leave us a review or even just share this with your friends. Obviously, the more people we can help during this pandemic, the better. Everybody needs a couple different perspectives.
Totally. So with that, guys, excited to see you in the next episode, and we will show you some cool stuff next time. See ya.
See ya.